Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another zombies video. Wanted to take some time to talk about the new wonder weapon that's going to be in Black Ops Cold War Die Machine, the zombies map. And it's going to be kind of an Easter egg that I somewhat spoke about a couple months ago. As you see on the screen, on March 16th I uploaded a video talking about the Dark Aether and kind of like what to expect in the new, I guess at the time I was calling it Black Ops 5. I did recently change the title just to make it easier if people want to find it, because at the time we were all thinking it was just going to be Black Ops 5. But in that video I talked about the inspiration for the Dark Aether, stuff that Treyarch wanted us to find. But I always say, and I don't mean to kind of contribute to the toxic environment of the zombies community, but a lot of people don't do research. But after doing research, I found that the blue sun in Revelations isn't actually a sun; it's an entity. It's actually like a being, just shaped in a sun. It's actually called phase. So I'm gonna link that original video if you want to watch the entire video. As you see, it's like 27 minutes long. But I just want to kind of give you the reference of where the idea of the wonder weapon for Cold War Die Machine, the Knockdown Totem remake or remaster. I think it's more like a reimagining, I guess is the correct term, for where it came from. And this video, if you happen to find it on YouTube, that I'm making right now, I used to give a lot of answers to the big YouTube channels, but I kind of want to almost pay homage to the original zombies community from pretty much World at War Black Ops 1, where people were just uploading stuff themselves, coming up with theories themselves, rather than just force-feeding answers to the big channel. It almost kind of makes it like a Ponzi scheme where like the people up top are always going to be up top. So I'm trying to like change that environment in itself. So anyways, I'm gonna go to the next. I usually do this like in a slide, but for that same reason, like I said, to pay homage, is like this is just to give you an idea where to look if you want to kind of dive into the backstory of how the idea of the wonder weapon came about. Not so necessarily just to make money or views off the video or gain subscribers. It's just to kind of like throw back to the way that it used to be when people say the zombies community was at its peak. But because of I guess social media and revenue and ad revenue and all that, everything gets a little bit jaded in a way. So anyways, this is just the kind of, it's gonna be like a cheap way to do it, but it's kind of the way that it used to be done for years. I'm not gonna do like a fancy video, which I don't have the time, I'll be honest with that, or the know-how to use a lot of recording apps or whatever, programs. Anyway, so like I said, the wonder weapon in the box is gonna be this, what I'm gonna call a plasma cannon, and you can tell already, and even by reading the comments in the video, on Twitter, maybe even Instagram, it just seemed really out of place. And this is an Easter egg that goes along with the plunger from the Horizon Rock. It pays homage to something, and I mentioned this in other videos too. You gotta realize the devs, they're all probably in their 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s, and they grew up playing video games in the 70s and 80s, so it's almost like their turn to pay respects. It happens in a lot of industries, even in professional wrestling. Like once you're at the top, it's now your turn to pay respects to everyone that got you at that point. So the plasma cannon, I'm gonna call it, plasma beam, it actually comes from the Metroid series. And like I said, if you watch that Dark Aether video that I made, you'll learn that the whole concept of the Dark Aether comes from Metroid. Specifically, I believe Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2. It shows about how Phase, which is the blue sun in Revelations, it crashed a Leviathan onto Earth, and it created Earth, regular Earth, and then light Earth, and then dark Earth, I'm gonna call it. But the correct term is light ether and dark ether. They're actually planets, not just like a material, I guess. So of course they're not. Treyarch is not going to carbon copy the plasma cannon for copyright reasons or anything like that, or even trademark. Maybe the plasma cannon is kind of like a trademark of the Metroid series. But like I said, this I'm not going to go too much in depth. I'm just going to go over briefly a couple things if you want to do some research on it. And you'll see the similarities, especially this. They're actually, let me go to that part um, before I lose it, and I probably scrolled, and I probably. But I guess this is the best, one of the best websites. You just go to Metroid Fandom Arm Cannon, go to the description, but it explains what even these are. These are kind of like shocks on the gun. So when the gun shoots and it maybe springs back, think about like shocks in a car, shocks in a bike. It's to absorb the force of the plasma expelling out of the gun. So it ends up explaining that here somewhere. But like I said, I'm not going to go and read every single line to every single part of it. Just kind of wanted to show you, as you can see here, has the same, I think it calls it coils, but it's more like shocks. I think it's like absorbing coils or something like that. It calls it. But then again, like I said, there's different versions of it also. There's actually like green and blue plasma cannon. What I wanted to also kind of point out is if it's upgradable and you can get different types of bullets or shots. Here's an idea of what we could be looking at as far as what it's gonna be extruding, I guess might be the best word, or shooting out. You might get a power beam, a charge beam, a long beam, a wide beam, a wave beam, like the wave gun. And people did mention, I think it looked like the wave gun from Kino der Toten and the other original zombie maps. You can get like maybe a wave. Maybe you'll find like attachments or different ways to upgrade it. Maybe think about the Mark II ray gun in Nuketown remake. What's that called? Alpha Omega. Which is funny because that's probably where the Omega, maybe, and people had mentioned that maybe that's where the Omega part came from. But think about it like getting different upgrades. Maybe you'll have to do a couple steps to get like the ice beam part of the plasma cannon, phazon beam, dark beam. Maybe some of them might affect different enemies different ways. Well, Nova beam was a cool one that I ended up seeing, and I think it shoots some type of Nova gas. No, I'm just kidding. Some type. I'll read it then really quick. The Nova beam is a high frequency beam used in the pirate homeworld's mining facility. It's funny because that could be like our new buried too. Funny enough, I don't think it will, but that would be kind of cool. But it talks about where you can find it and stuff like that, and what the Nova beam, in combination with X-ray visor and another pirate device. But like I said, once again, I'm not gonna go over every single function of it. Sonic boom, that seems pretty cool. And they did put now the only difference is, like I said, I don't ever want to try and mislead anybody, but in this one you can't stick your hand in the gun. Like think about the Apotheca's Servant. You can't stick your hand inside of it. There is a part of it, and it's probably maybe the next scene. He actually has his, I think there's a handle on the outside. I think it might be a little bit too obvious if you were able to stick your hand in the gun. And I did find some real life photos. People made some, and sorry, that probably blinded you guys by a lot. And I didn't really actually mean to click on it, but since I did, I just want to kind of almost segue into it. But you can find other versions that people made. You can even buy some of these at GameStop if you want to kind of. I think this might be maybe the best photo you can get. I don't want to click on it because obviously some websites and stuff, I don't know. This one even right here might be the best almost representation or replica of it. But you'll see people do cosplay for it, obviously. Metroid is female. That'd be kind of cool if Samantha ends up being like, gets her own suit and stuff like that. I mean, it would be a little bit too fantasy-like, and people would probably freak out, as always, and be over dramatic. But like I said, if you click on some of these, you can kind of see the similarity. I know people are gonna say, well, all plasma cannons look the same. You're just, putting two things together. And which brings me to my next point. If you're probably still watching this, I'm going to disable the comments so people can't troll. I know people, I've been saying this for almost 3 years now. People want their favorite YouTubers to be the ones to solve stuff. Even though pretty much a lot of the big YouTubers don't solve anything on their own, pretty much. They end up getting answers from a lot of people in the community, which I understand everybody's here to help each other. But I probably will, in the comment section, disable it, but I probably will post a question later in the community section of YouTube. You can post a question. If anybody ends up seeing it and follows, then I'll end up posting a separate question. I don't want to keep comment sections open too much because when you're good at solving stuff, people get upset, and I understand that's kind of the point that we're at right now. But like I said, this isn't just something that is just coming together just by looking at it. There's a whole backstory to it. Like I said, I don't want to dive too much into it in this. But like I said, if you go back, you watch this, you do your own little bit of research on your own, definitely check out this website. There is more here that you want to click on to kind of get the backstory of. And to be honest, this is stuff that Treyarch has put breadcrumbs that they've put in front of us, so it's not like they, I kind of sometimes I'm reluctant to do stuff like this and tell people where it comes from, because I know people are gonna just put a negative spin on everything. But at the same time, I would not have solved this if they didn't put clues in Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and probably in the trailer and stuff like that. Because like, that's the thing, if you didn't know everything prior to that, when you see the plasma cannon, you're like, why is that so out of place? Obviously they have to make it bigger and better just because they're Treyarch, which is cool, and it looks awesome. And it might even give some type of backstory about the jet gun is the jet gun. I don't want to try and say it's the same exact thing, but the jet gun, is obviously just a gun made out of jet parts and stuff like that. But this might give you a little bit more of the fantasy background to it, why it seems so out of place. Again, I'm just kind of scrolling through it just to kind of show you guys how, other than the green, some are green and some are blue, depending, I guess, on the Metroid game that you play. But they're all kind of different. Again, maybe for the attachment, same thing. Maybe it'll go from blue to another color or another transformation. This one's actually really cool. People do go really all out on some of this stuff. Anyways, like I said, I'll leave it at that. You guys can check this stuff out on your own. I'm not gonna make this like a spectacular video and try and edit and do stuff like that. Like, I know people use Adobe Premiere and stuff like that to make videos, but I don't think I'll ever really have the time to do that stuff. And I give people a lot of credit. I know I rag on the zombies community a lot, but I give them a lot of credit for some of the videos that they make, the time and effort that goes into making their videos. And I guess that's just the thing. Like, you either have time to research it, or you have time just to make videos. And I like researching this stuff more than I like making videos. Once in a while, I'll be like, hey, I got a few minutes, I'll just make something really quickly to let people know about it. Anyways, if you have any questions, like I said, I'm more than likely might disable the comments, but I might post a question either on Twitter or in the comment section of YouTube. I don't want to click on. I'm so scared to click on stuff because I don't want to show stuff that I'm not supposed to. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.